Hello book lovers and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, I'm Beth and welcome to Boo's Book Nook. My TBR is officially well over 150 books now. Yeah. I have a problem. I have a serious problem and it just keeps rising. And so on today's episode of Tackle the TBR, we are going to be doing a 24-hour readathon, and this will be my first ever 24-hour readathon, and I'm so excited, a little nervous, but I'm excited. I'm going to do it the beginner's way, in the fact where I can start and stop the timer. It's not going to be a whole 24 hours from now, but it will be 24 hours over hopefully the next 2 days. But I really need to get onto my TBR and we need to tackle it because there's a lot. Books that I have on today's radar are some of my most anticipated reads and the ones I'm most excited for on my TBR, because I felt like if I had ones that I'm really excited for, I'm going to want to keep reading and reading them, and so it will be a successful 24-hour readathon. That's my theory anyway. So here is a selection. I have 5. Of course, I can choose any other book if it's tickling my fancy, but these are the ones that I'm really excited for. We have The Ministry of Time. Now, this one I have seen all over BookTube, actually. I think it was Sarah Caroli first mentioned this, and she said it was fantastic. And so, of course, I had to pick up a copy because you're right, it does sound great, and also pictures gorgeous, and it has actually recently won the Women's Prize for Fiction for 2025. Yes. So this sees one of those civil servants go back in time to the 1800s, where they meet and explore in the Victorian times, and they build that budding friendship. I'm really excited to see what this is like. I heard such good things, and I hope it really meets up to those expectations, but I think this is a good one to pick. Next one I have is The Library by Bella Osborne. Now, this just sounds like the epitome of cute and perfect genre for me, being a librarian, and it basically follows a pensioner and a teenager who meet in this library, and they get together to try and save this library as it is at risk of being closed. It just sounds perfect, and I think it would be a really easy bingeable read. So that's why I've chosen that one. We then have 5 Broken Blades by Mai Colland, and this, she's stunning to start with. This one I have already started, and I'm on page 140 and thoroughly enjoying it so far. It follows 5 dangerous assassins and thieves as they group together to kill the king. Enough being said, really. It's thoroughly enjoyable, but I did put this down a few weeks ago, so I need to recap what happened, but I do want to get this one finished, and I know I'm already liking it, so I thought this was a good one to put onto the list for today. I then have a very exciting book that I actually got sent by Electric Monkey Books, and that is Ladies' Night. It's just gorgeous. It's set in medieval times, and there is a sapphic romance. Yes, please. And it just sounds so cozy, but also adventurous, full of excellent snacks, apparently, too. And it just sounds right up my street. And the fact that they actually approached me to send this to me, I am so thankful. I was over the moon, and I just can't believe they chose little old me to send this book to, and it's in my favourite colours. Like, pink is my favourite colour. Gorgeous. So thank you once again for sending this book to me. I am so excited to read this, and that cover art is gorgeous. So go buy yours now. Go buy it. And then finally, another book that I have been lovingly sent by Bloomsbury Creator Circle, and that was this book, My Name is Amelia Delval by Isabel Allende. I'm so excited for this. This is a historical fiction, and it has a quote on the top by the Queen herself, Kristen Hannah, who, as you might know, I am loving her books, and she's a recent discovery of mine, which I'm so glad I read her books. The Nightingale, The Woman, gorgeous. So the fact that she's quoting on the top saying she's a literary treasure, Allende, yes, please, I'm going to want this. So it was Bloomsbury's Creator Circle that I signed up for because I hit over 3,000 followers on TikTok. And if you don't follow my TikTok, go over there. It is Boo's Book Nook. And I love it over there. Just, it's such a wholesome community, just like this one. So please follow me if you're on there. And this sounds right up my street. It follows Amelia Derval, who was always destined for great things, but she was abandoned at birth by her aristocrat father. Amelia comes of age in 19th century San Francisco as an independent and fiercely ambitious young woman, decades ahead of her time. She will do whatever it takes to pursue her life's passion for writing, even if it means publishing under a man's name. It just sounds so good. So thank you so much, Bloomsbury and the Creator Circle, for picking me and sending me out this book. As I said, the rules are simple. I will start the timer when I'm reading. I will pause it when I pause reading, because obviously I need to make dinner at some point and I just might want a little break. By the end of this vlog, we will have hit 24 hours of reading. You know what? I'm going to start off strong. I'm going to start off with Ladies' Night by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. Right, enough rambling. Cheapers. I'm going to get into a comfy position and then we're going to start this timer. Here we are, somewhere more comfortable. I have my book. I have the incredible bookmark that they sent me. There is a scan the Spotify code there. So if you want to scan it, go right ahead. And it links to the most incredible playlist, which is all bardcore style music. And if you haven't heard of the bardcore music, where have you been? It's loads of popular songs that have been remastered into medieval style with like lutes and all sorts. It's the cutest, okay? It's the cutest, trust me on that. Right, the 24 hours starts now. I love it. I love it so much. Just the medieval setting, the cutesy vibes, and Gwen is the blacksmith's daughter, but she has taken over from the blacksmith and she's creating the swords, daggers, horseshoes, and things like that herself now. And it is market day. She's at a market trying to sell her wares, and then Lady Isabel turns up and they see each other from across the market. And Lady Isabel comes over to Gwen's stall where they meet and talk for the first time, and it's so cute. Oh my goodness, I think this is going to be another one of my favorite type of genres. And you know what? I've never read a sapphic romance before, and I am living for it. But that being said, I'm only on page 27 and I'm already this. Yeah. Is this going to be a 5-star read? And I swear to you, I am not just saying, like, I am under no obligation to speak positively about this book. I was just gifted it. Like, I'm always going to be honest to you guys. And if I didn't like it, I'd be honest to you. I don't really have any words. I am very much excited to read the rest of this. And if you have not got a copy, please, I implore you, go get a copy. Sapphic romance, set in medieval times, and we're gonna have a tournament. Yeah. Enough said, really. Enough said. Hello, my loves, and it is officially 2 hours into this challenge, and I think I am doing pretty well. Although I do have to say it is now 7:41 in the evening, and we're only 2 hours into the challenge, and I've only got today and tomorrow off. We shall see. We shall see. Might not complete it by tomorrow, but 3 days max, I'm thinking. So, update on Ladies' Night. This is fabulous. I am loving it so much. I'm on chapter 17, page 168, and it's flying by. It's so, so good. Banter that's in this, the lightheartedness, the touch of history, but also the modern twists on it. Like they're playing a game together as the ladies and called Hast Thou Ever? It's just, instead of like Never Have I Ever, is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So definitely take it with a pinch of salt. It is not historically accurate, it is not aimed at that accurate historicalness. It is just set in the medieval period of time. It's just so cute. So cute. Hey lovelies, it is reading update time. We are at the 18-hour mark, so that means we've read for 6 hours. We're doing okay, we are doing well, and you know what I've done? I finished it. 5 stars. It was so good. The perfect, cozy, medieval, sapphic romance style read with a hint of fantasy and dragons in it. Yes, please. And towards the end, and actually throughout, it is very much women power. Literally, it's like, why send a man to do it when a woman can do it for you? Because, yeah, it all becomes clear if you read this, but I couldn't put it down. I absolutely binged it. And I'm so glad I decided to pick this one up first because what a start to the challenge. Honestly, 100% recommend you adding this to your TBRs. I feel like it is a perfect, easy read, maybe a palate cleanser between high fantasies. I'd probably recommend this to people who have read Assistant and Apprentice to the Villain or Bridgerton, but with a medieval twist to it. I'm so happy right now. Wow, what a start. It is currently 5 past midnight, and I am tired, My eyes hurt from looking at the words for so long. 510 pages took me 6 hours to read. I feel like that's pretty good. That's not too shabby. I'm happy with that, and I was so invested and just engaged with this wholeheartedly, and I can't stop speaking about it. They have set the end of this book up for a sequel. They literally say there's going to be more, and I'm so excited. But I'm also, this has literally only just come out, so I bet we're gonna have to wait a little bit of time before the next one comes out. But you bet I'm gonna be reading that when that comes out. Brilliant, well done, gorgeous, and I love those characters. The characters in this were so good. Now it's a case of choosing what comes next, because that was so good. I'm a bit nervous, but whatever we pick next might not be as good. And then we struggle. Ministry of Time by Kellyanne Bradley. This really intrigues me. As I said before, it's had so much positive hype around it and such good reviews. And just the premise of this sounds so different and so interesting. They are discovering time travel, and this civil servant basically goes back in time to 1847 to monitor an expat, Commander Graham Gore, a former Victorian polar explorer. Yeah, it sounds really interesting. We have just over 18 hours left of this challenge. This is hard. This is harder than I ever thought. I love watching these vlogs, love them. But my goodness, yeah, it's hard. Hello, my loves, and welcome to day 2 of the 24-hour readathon challenge. So, last night I started the Ministry of Time, and I got to about 20 pages last night. So when I woke up this morning, I woke up about 9 o'clock. Yeah, I had a little laying because I was tired, okay? Your girl needs her beauty sleep. A lot of it, because... Anywho... So this morning we started with about 17 and a half hours left on the timer, and we are currently at just under 16 hours left on the timer. So we've been doing this challenge for 8 hours now. So I've been reading solidly for 8 hours. That's pretty impressive. I am happy with my progress. We're currently on page 110 of the Ministry of Time, and I'm really, really enjoying it. So, as I've gotten further through, I've come to discover that our main character is just the civil servant who's acting as the bridge for the expats. And the expats are the ones they've taken from a significant moment in history, and these people are about to die. They are going to imminently die in their own period of time. And so the ministry takes them away from that time because they won't be missed. And these significant historical figures. The main character, Lieutenant Gore, in this was on an Arctic expedition and he was going to die, so they took him away. So it doesn't disrupt the timeline. And they're going to use him to do some scientific experiments to build him into modern day society so he can help with science and history, etc. It's really interesting. Really, really interesting. There is definitely something else going on in the background, something corrupt, something that we don't know yet, but there's a little sprinkling of, a hint at something that's going to go down. Yeah. So we have 16 hours left on our timer. We are going to have to elongate this challenge a little bit over a few more days because I'm going to do date night with the hubby tonight. But Overall, at the end, I will have read for 24 hours and I will show you how many books and what books I read in those 24 hours. Yes. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to read some more Ministry of Time and I will update you when we get further into the challenge. Okay, I'll see you in a bit. Hello, my lovelies, and we are at the 12-hour mark update. That is right, 12 hours. We've done 12 hours of reading, and we've still got 12 hours to go. So we are halfway through this challenge. And let me tell you, it's not been easy. I am really rather slow with this, so it's taken me about 6 hours to read this, and I haven't even finished it yet. I'm struggling. I am struggling. I'm enjoying it, but it's not grabbing my attention. It is dragging along a bit, and I'm struggling to pick it up. My brain keeps wandering, so that's why I have to keep reading parts and flicking back. So that's why it's taking me a little bit longer. But I am about 100 pages off the end. I'm at 233, so I'm about 110 pages off the end. So I'm definitely hoping to finish this within the next couple of hours, and then we can finally move on to another book. But I wanted to give you that update and just to let you know how it's going, because actually I'm also tired and I love reading, and obviously you do because you're here or you love hearing about books, but reading constantly for a challenge is actually really hard, and I need to give my brain a little bit of break, a little bit of a reprieve. So it is currently 8:52 right now. So we're going to try and finish this tonight, but I do have work tomorrow. So we shall see. But I'm still determined to finish it. So if you're still here, I love you. Please make sure to subscribe and give me a thumbs up if you are still here. Anywho, I am rambling a hell of a lot. So we have 12 hours. I think it's literally just over 12 hours actually, but we'll say 12 hours, okay? Let's finish this beauty off.
I saw the moon in a coffee cup, swirling slow as the world wakes up. Your name's a rhythm I can't unhear. It lingers soft like it's always near. The shadows dancing on a velvet floor. The clock don't tick like it did before. Your echo hums in the space between the weightless steps of a waking dream. I'm drifting in the glow of you. Every breath's a lighter hue. The sky bends low where our hearts collide, and I'll flow in the tide you provide.
Hello and good morning, my lovely, lovely book lovers. We are on the last leg of this challenge. Yay! I'm so impressed with actually how well this challenge has gone, and it's really gotten me back into the routine of reading rather than scrolling on my phone. So it is a win-win situation. So, an update, where I left you, I was reading The Ministry of Time by Kellyanne Bradley. I have now finished this. I'm giving it a 3 stars. It was okay. It was good. It just wasn't my thing. It wasn't engaging me. I wasn't interested in the storyline. I didn't root for the characters and I didn't really care if they got together and they were a love interest. I thought the whole premise and the concept of it was so interesting. The whole time travel and getting historical figures from the past to help guide the future is so interesting and such a good concept. And of course, the corruptness and the things going on. There was a twist at the end. I wasn't wowed. I didn't expect it, but it wasn't the best twist. And overall, a good book. I definitely recommend it if that sounds like your cup of tea. And if you're intrigued by it, I feel like it just wasn't 100% for me, but the writing style was beautiful. It was so easy to read. I then started, so we have a library book here, and I've been watching the Witcher series, and so I wanted to read the books. So I got them from the library. And I'm starting with The Witcher The Last Wish. I'm going for the recommended reading order, which I found online, and they say to start with this one, so that's where I've started. I am 120 pages into this, and I am thoroughly enjoying it. I love the world of The Witcher. It's just so interesting, the fantasy elements, the different creatures, the different kingdoms, the towns, the types of people, everything, and the storylines. Brilliant. And this one basically really gives you a good idea of the Witcher himself and who he is, what he does, and the people he meets before the main plot of the story comes. And it's got lots and lots of little kind of quests or stories that the Witcher goes through, so we get backstory for him. So very much enjoying this. I'm also listening to the audiobook of this at the same time as well, and yeah, loving it, really loving it. So I'm glad I got this one. I also am currently reading a book on my Kindle. It is an arc that I got approved for on NetGalley, and that is I got The Healing Hippo of Hanode Park by Michiko Aoyama, and this is one of the Japanese fiction books that have been translated into English, and this comes out later this year. And when I got approved for this, I was absolutely buzzing because I loved What You're Looking For Is in the Library by the same author. And that was the first book that she came out with, and it was incredible. It was one of the only books this year that I have underlined and annotated because there were so many beautiful quotes in it. When I saw that this was coming out this year, I ran to NetGalley and I requested that and I got approved. So I'm so excited. So I've kind of paused The Witcher a little bit so that I can read the arc because I want to read it. And I'm just so, like, I feel so privileged to have been given this. So thank you so much to the publishers, which is Penguin, and to the author for allowing me to get an early release of this book. So I'm currently on chapter 2 of this. They're quite long chapters, but it's a rather short book, so I'm already 15% of the way through. So one thing I love about my Kindle is it tells me how far I am through. I have to admit, I lost track of my timer, and I'm not 100% sure where I got to in the timer. So I'm setting it for 10 hours because I feel like it was about there because I've been reading at work, I've been listening to the audiobooks, and just completely, it just flew out of my mind that I needed to reset the timer again. Silly, silly goose. So we have 10 hours. Let's get back to reading and finish this challenge. Woo! Hello lovelies, I am back with an update for you. We are at the 8-hour mark. We only have 8 hours left. I have finished the Healing Hippo of Fenode Park. 4.5 stars. Loved it. Wasn't quite as good as what you're looking for is in the library, but I still loved it. There were so many real people in this book that you can imagine that just live in your neighborhood, and we see the struggles that they face. Like, we had that single mom, we had children worried about exams at school, we had teenagers who were scared about running in a race, we had a mother and son relationship which was on the rocks, we had someone with anxiety and depression, just all of those really hard shits in life and that people experience every day. And it really shows that no matter what you're going through, there is hope, there is light at the end of the tunnel, and you will get through it with a little help from the people around you. And it was so heartwarming, and Mishiko writes beautifully. She really does, and it's translated gorgeously, and the quotes in the book are just... I can't wait to get a physical copy so then I can properly underline it and tab it like I did with What You're Looking For Is in the Library. So I'm definitely going to continue with The Witcher, The Last Wish, because I think we can definitely finish this. We are 120 pages, as I said earlier. I might actually listen to a bit of the audiobook and do some pottering around the house, because everybody, audiobooks count as reading. Yes, they do. Just a little reminder if you forgot. So I've got Spotify Premium, so I get a certain amount of hours on there where I can access audiobooks, and The Witcher is on there. So I'm definitely going to carry on listening to this for a while so I can get some bits and bobs done. And that is where we're at. So without further ado, let's carry on with this challenge and smash the net 8 hours of reading. And we are officially only 1 hour and 50 minutes left of this challenge. 10 past midnight. 10 past midnight. And I did it. I finished The Witcher, The Last Wish, and beautiful. Beautiful. I'm going to give it a 4.5 stars. It was so lovely. I do have to say though, I think I love this even more because I already have watched the TV show, and so because I love the world and just I already know the characters, and I really enjoyed it. But if you haven't watched the TV show, you might find it a little tricky because you get thrown straight in here. There's not a lot of introductory world building or character meeting. It is, you're straight in there. You're piecing the puzzle pieces together on your own. But because I've watched the TV show, I found it easier and I flew through it, and it was really good. I also listened to a lot of it today via audiobook. I had a lovely bath. I washed my hair, so it's now a lion's mane. I did some skincare, but I all did that whilst listening to the audiobook, which meant reading the book flew. And actually, I managed to get such a good chunk off of my 24-hour readathon, which is incredible. I do also want to say that I really loved there's nods to the Grimm's fairy tales or fairy tales / Disney in this. We have a little subplot of Snow White where the Witcher helps out with a lost princess who gets poisoned with apple and saved by 7 gnomes. So that's like Snow White. And then we had a Beauty and the Beast reference where there is someone who's been cursed and looks like a bit of a beast and falls in love with a beautiful princess. And then, yeah, it's Beauty and the Beast. And then we also had a bit of Cinderella where the Witcher had to go and help a prince whose wife to be had run away and the golden slipper was left on the stairs. And so I really love the nods to the fairy tales in this. There is humour sprinkled in this as well with the like bard type character. So we still have an hour 50 left of this challenge. I don't think I want to go straight onto the next Witcher book because I want to kind of elongate my reading period because I'm really enjoying that. And I'm quite tired. So I thought this book might be nice because it's really calling to me. So I have recently been gifted this one. If you saw my last video about the book haul, my name is Emilia de Val by Isabel Allende, and it is a historical fiction. And if you know, I love historical fiction. It is one of my favourite genres. It's probably tied with fantasy historical fiction. This one is set in the 19th century and it follows Emilia, who is a girl who wants to be a writer, and to overcome those challenges, she tries to publish a book under a male name. And so we follow that journey. I will update you in the morning with how the start of this book goes, and I will see you soon. Hello, my loves, and we did it. Yay! I did it. 24 hours reading. Completed it. Yes! I feel like I did really well. We got through 4 and a bit books in 24 hours, which, wow, that's the best I've read in a while. I've loved it. So let's go through what we read during this 24 hours. We started off with Ladies' Night by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. 5 stars, incredible, loved it. Medieval sapphic romance, need I say more? That was such a good start to the 24 hours. The next one I picked up was The Ministry of Time by Kayleigh Bradley. Now this I gave 3 stars in the end. It just wasn't my cup of tea. It was interesting. The premise was there with the time travel, different historical figures from the past and bringing them to the future and seeing how they adapt. There was an interesting premise, but it wasn't executed in a way that I enjoyed it. And I spent hours reading this when it is a lot shorter than Ladies' Night, and it still took me, I think, like nearly double the time to read this, which it was really sad because I was really looking forward to it. But it is a good book, and I think if the premise sounds good to you, give it a try because Kellyanne really writes it beautifully. But it just wasn't my thing. Wasn't my cup of tea, which is okay. We then read a book on the Kindle, and that was The Healing Hippo of No Park by Michiko Aoyama. 4.5 stars, gorgeous, brilliant. We loved it. You know I love my Japanese fiction, and the fact I got this arc, over the moon. Definitely, when that comes out, you need to buy it. You need to get it. You need to read it because gorgeous. Then picked up the first book in the recommended reading order of The Witcher. So this is The Witcher: The Last Wish by Andrzej Sapkowski, and Polish author. So I'm so sorry if I've pronounced their name wrong. But this was gorgeous. I loved this, getting to know all the different magical creatures, and Geralt, the main character, is a witcher who is a mutated creature who has got this amazing strength, and he goes around. He's not a hitman, don't get it wrong, but he will only kill the people that, need to be killed. He won't just go, oh, you want that person killed? Let's get rid. No, if they're innocent, he's not going to kill them just because you don't like them. So he's not a hitman. but we meet a whole load of different characters. This is a series of short stories introducing The Witcher and Geralt and all the characters. It's a really nice way to start bringing yourself into the world of The Witcher, and I gave this 4.5 stars. Gorgeous. I really can't wait to read the rest of the series. So we ended the challenge with this book. My Name is Emilia del Val by Isabel Allende, a Spanish author that's been translated from Spanish. This is a historical fiction, and I haven't really updated you much on this one. I finished my hour and a half this morning with reading this, and I'm now on page 70. Oh no, I'm on page 83 of this, so it's getting in there. I will say it's not gripping me. It's really not engaging me massively. It's an interesting premise. It follows Emilia, who is writing under a male penmanship name because she is a female in the 19th century and they couldn't write. They weren't allowed to write really then. She releases some little short novels, and then she goes to work for a journalist company, and she is sent to the front of the war in Chile, where she's going to cover some stories. That's pretty much it. It's written in the style of like her writing in her diary, and she does address the reader in a way, first person narrative. And I want to finish this. I do want to finish it and see if it gets any better. Like I say, I like to give at least 100 pages to see whether I like it or not. The writing style is very eloquent and just really nicely written, and the fact it's translated as well, it's been translated beautifully. So I do want to finish this book, but that's where we left. So that's all the books we managed to read in the 24-hour readathon. This is my first one, and let me tell you, it's been hard. It's been really tricky to balance doing that much reading around a full-time job. It's really tricky, especially when I get home and I just collapse. I just get so tired, and some days I just don't want to read. So I found it tricky to then, if I wasn't in the mood to reading, because I'm such a mood reader, if I didn't feel like it, then I was like, oh, well, I've got 24 hours. So it was a bit tricky. So I don't know how many I'll do of these, but I am so proud of myself for getting through it. It may have taken me a week to do 24 hours of reading, but that's 4 and a bit books in a week, which, whoo, is incredible. I'm so happy with that. But do let me know if you've read any of these books down below, or if you want to add any of them to your TBR because of this video. I love to know. And thank you so much for watching. I've had a blast. I hope you've enjoyed. Please, before you go anywhere, make sure to like and subscribe, and make sure to click that bell so that you never miss a video of mine. And I will see you very shortly for another one. Bye!